one thing I talked about when I interviewed Arabian Prince and talked to him just in general, and then same with DJ Speed, was that a lot of people forget that this was Dre's first gold project. Gold. And as you look,
Gold Mine.
Baby, you say that again, Baby D?
Gold Mine.
Yeah.
We opened the doors for Ruthless Records, believe that.
No, I know. And that's something I was talking to with Arabian Prince and DJ Speed, because I think a lot of people, and I actually put it in my book, The History of Gangster Rap, that, you know, JJ Fad really funded what ended up happening to what Ruthless became. So I believe you guys don't get the respect for that. So my saying, oh, that was great, doesn't really mean much. But what satisfaction or what, Baby D, how does that like, oh man, you know, we really built this and let this really take off, Baby D? What does that mean anything to you, or what's your feeling of it?
No, it means a lot to me, but like you say, we don't get half of the credit we deserve for actually bringing that to the table. A lot of people forgot about us. I feel like Eminem, motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. You know, like it's just, for real, it's like, as close as we all were, I mean, as close brothers and sisters, there's no way that we should not be able to reach out to Dre, Ice Cube, Ren, Yella, anybody to this day, as close as we all were. Like, and we don't talk, we don't exchange numbers, we don't, you know, nothing. And with the people, nobody seemed to know that, unless, like, when he did the Defiant one, he did say something, but everybody else, like, I mean, it's just, people forget. People forgot. We're forgotten. And it's just, it's crazy because we care so much about Ruthless. We was like Ruthless baby girls, and, you know, and we did everything that everybody wanted us to do instead of doing what we wanted to do. And I think that was part of us not being able to go do it. Now, at the time, we grown now, we know now. But at the time, it was like, you got to do it like this. You got to say that. You got to do, and we went along with it. Okay. Even though we had stuff in the back of our mind, like, we want to do this, we want to do that, but we never stepped on anyone's toes and we never said anything. But I just feel like we don't get the respect or the, y'all know what I'm trying to say, that we deserve.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Sassy C, what would you guys have wanted to do, or what didn't you guys get to do that you would have liked to have done back then?
Have more input on the music and what we wanted to go across, because we had ideas. And I remember being in there pushing buttons going, what is this? What is that? And Dre be like, go sit back. Go over there. Don't touch that, you know, whatever. But being more vocal, to have learned more of that aspect of the business versus just being an artist, doing, you know, what they said. And don't get me wrong, we're very grateful and thankful because of Dre's work ethic. You know, we are the artists that we are today because of, you know, his ethic and having us redo things over and what am I trying to say? Like, really strive for the sound that he thought was best, and pushing us to even what was it? Like,
he was a perfectionist.
That's a good word to push us to that point, and that was good. So I'm grateful for that. But to answer the question, like, wishing I had more of a say, or pushing it to no, I really want to know, or I just really want to watch you, or I really want to learn this part, because we did have the desire to do that.
Okay. So then, JB, what were the different roles? Because Arabian Prince being the original producer, but then, at least credit-wise, we see Dr. Dre and Yella and co-produced by Arabian Prince. So once you guys had the album, of those three, like, what was Dre, Yella, Arabian Prince's role once you guys started making the actual album?
Once we started making the album, the first album, once Supersonic was over, the remainder of the album was just Dre and Yella. So Arabian didn't have much to do with the remaining part of that Supersonic album. So at that point, Arabian I don't even know if he had left at the time. I'm not sure his timeline, But I just know during that album, after Supersonic, with the rest of the songs on that album, he didn't have very much to do with it. It was mostly Dre and Yella producing.
Okay, because I remember Blame It on the Music, he was on there at least talking. But
yeah,
I was always curious because it definitely sounded different, especially once you got to the hip hop side of the record than a lot of what Arabian Prince Professor X would have been doing. So I was always curious.
Professor X.
Yeah.
Yes. So
he had more input on the second album.
Right. Which yes, I'm looking forward to talking about that too for a variety.
Okay.
So Baby D, with Way Out, I know at least Juana is credited for writing it and everything, but with having the guitar and having it pop in a different type of way than Supersonic, and that was also a single, what was the strategy and the thought behind having that, be a single as well?
Well, I didn't want it as a single, so let me get that to JB because that was her pick. Give it to her.
I am a Flintstones fanatic. So that's where I got that, was from the Flintstones. They had this group called the Way Outs, and I just thought that is like the perfect beat. I think Way Out would have done better if we would have shot a video for it. And I think that's where the mistake came in, is that we did not do a video for Way Out. And I think that was the number one mistake. I think, like, to this day, my kids like my favorite song is Way Out. And I'm just like, really? It surprises me but they're like, no, that song is bomb. Some people like it, some people don't. But I think if we would have had a video to go along with that song, it would have done a lot better.
Okay. And then speaking of videos, with really the Supersonic being such a big video and kind of, I guess, setting up the album, but being the main visual for the album, Sassy C, what did you notice when you guys were performing, touring, doing in-stores, what have you? What was it that people would say to you struck them the most about the video for Supersonic?
Really this song, to me, it didn't matter where we went. Like, even like the Philippines, I think what struck it in my mind was this a little bitty girl. She just knew every word. She knew it was like the national anthem over there. And it just the whole fact of like the fast rap or the danceability of it or whichever, I think that's what really, it still pops. It still, is a good song. It's like timeless, I guess. That's a good way to say it. It doesn't matter what genre of music is happening or what's happening now. It's still, you put it on, you're like, oh yeah, hey, so that's how it was even then, So
and outfits.
Oh gosh. Well,
people still remember us for the biker shorts, the girls with the biker shorts, the girls with the biker pants. They still remember us because of that.
Definitely. And I personally at that time was not a fan. I was not.
I will say, I remember. Yes. But Baby D, with the fast rapping in particular, because I had really heard that through Grandmaster Caz and Kumo D and some of the tapes before even Rapper's Delight, like that stuff that was on the party tapes or the mixtapes or whatever. And then we didn't see too much of that in the 87, 88 range, especially by women. So what made you guys be like, hey, we're going to rap super fast and faster than basically anybody ever, and that's going to be cool? Like, what was that?
It was kind of the end of the song, and it came up as like a little joke. It wasn't meant to be like, we're going to be twisted, or anything like that. It was just like the end of the song, and then it was like, well, and it kind of like, wait a minute, say it again, that go. So it was actually like a mistake that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was Dre and Yella's reaction? Were they like, rewind that back, or no, we don't like what was happening on their part?
We had it already.
Yeah, we already had it.
It was already there.
When you redid it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know that they cracked up. They would be in the studio dying. They would laugh so hard when the Sama Lama Lama part came out. They were like, that is just the dumbest thing ever, but that is so funny. So they would die laughing. They thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Okay. And then we didn't get to it because we got off on so many things, but what was the difference, Sassy C, between what Yella and what Dre was doing to help you guys on the production side?
Well, as we kind of touched on it a little bit, Dre was more of a perfectionist. Yella was crazy. You know, he was like sassy or calling me names or whatever, you know, so it was light and airy in that respect. But then Dre be like, do that again. Do it again. No, do it like this. And, you know, he just was always critiquing, that's what I was trying to say, how we should do our verses and how we should come across. But it really made a big difference, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I've only been in the studio with Dre a few times, a couple times when he was recording. And the thing that always has amazed me about him is that every time that he's come out or started a different movement, it was bigger than the one before it. And the one before it, we thought was the biggest thing it could ever be. So, you know, Ruthless crushed, you know, the World Class Wrecking Crew, and then Death Row crushed Ruthless, and then Aftermath crushed Death Row. And I'm just like, how is this possible? Like, I'm purely looking at it from a sales popularity wise, because the music has always been, I think, stellar, but it's just always blown me away that it's like bigger. It's just shocked me. So JB, for you, what did you see, you know, the difference? Because at that time you guys, even though it was only around 88, you guys had been around different producers and seen different things. Did you understand or appreciate in 88 how different what Dre did was?
Definitely. And I think I attribute it all to his work ethic. Because if it wasn't right, he wasn't like, oh, it'll be okay. That's fine. Just leave it. No, that was not him. It's like, nope, do it again. That's not the way it's supposed to sound. Do it again. Like, his work ethic is phenomenal. And he makes you want to do better. And I think that's why he's so successful with artists, is because he makes you believe that you can top what you just did, even though you thought what you just did was great.
That's a good point.
He pushes you and says, no, it could be better. So that push and that drive that he has and that work ethic, even though we would be mad, we don't want to do this anymore. Dang, we did it already, you know, even though we would get upset and be like, we're tired. He pushed us to keep going till he got us to where we needed to be.
Okay. And one of the other things that I thought was great about the Ruthless releases, which had only started happening a little bit by that time in 87, 88 in rap, was, or we didn't have as much of it as we got a little bit later, was having the actual live instrumentation in addition to the sampling and all this other stuff. So Baby D, like having someone like Stan the Guitar Man work with you guys on Supersonic, the album, what extra dimension do you think that added to the album and what it did?
Oh, it added some extracurricular. It added some action to it, because it wasn't dry, but when he put that down, Stan, it was like awesome. Like, dang, that gold. I mean, and it went. It really went. And we appreciated it. It was cool. You would have thought like, nah, that's not going. Once he put it down, oh yeah, okay. Now where you was lacking, it picked it up.
Yeah,
took it to another level.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I think a lot of the Ruthless stuff in particular has aged well, is because of that extra instrumentation and then sometimes, you know, having live drums and different things. So Sassy C, one of the other great things about Ruthless Records was the scratching. So DJ Train, obviously, you guys, and Dre and Yella being great DJs as well. What about the scratching, both on the album and live performances? How did that accent?
Look, I'm hyped. Look, I can't even wait for you to finish asking the question.
Sorry, I talk slow sometimes, I know.
No, I love it. I love the questions that you're asking, actually, but I loved it. You know, I loved Train's ability to, I mean, he would mix things that I didn't even think would go. And in the way he'd be like, Train, and throw his little spin on it. And I think I miss that. I really miss a lot of the mixing and the scratching, because you know how it would take you from one song to the next. And you'd be like, oh, hey, you know, like that was the thing of hip hop. And for us to have it in our music and in our songs, it made our show over the top. It was hype. It was hype.
Yeah, no, I really appreciated that, because I remember in the beginning you guys had said how you had the female DJ and the beatbox and all this other stuff. But when I heard, you know, later what Train was doing and just the heft, I was like, well, it ended up working out. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
It was great.
So JB, with the Eeny Meeny Beats, that is the middle of the Supersonic, the album. It's the bridge between the pop and the hip hop side. Mm-hmm. I was always curious that it seemed more or less a quasi Supersonic instrumental. So what was the desire and the reality of why and how that ended up being on the album, and then where it was in the sequence of the album?
That was all Dre. That was all Dre. That was his idea for Eeny Meeny Beats. I know that we had the Eeny Meeny Up. We already had that down. I think, I don't remember how it actually transpired. Baby D might be able to answer that a little bit better. But I do know that, wasn't that his idea, D?
It was, but all that how it transpired, I don't remember. And don't go back 30 years.
Or even further, right? But no.
Right.
I mean, that was just part of his genius, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Because you know how he would be like, okay, do this or do that. I mean, even with that part when you were like, I'm dancing.
Oh,
or, you know, different things he would say. You know, his thing, like, what was that? Like the behind the beat, you catch it, and he would say, do this. And I mean, they do it now to this day, and he did it way back then, you know, and we didn't even really understand it, but we did it because he said do it, and then it was good, it was hot. So it's just part of, I guess, his genius of what he would do and how he had the visions or whatever.
The ear.
It was good. Like,
the ear for music. No, not your ear. The ear for music, because some things that you didn't.
Crazy.
Some things you think didn't go. No, some things you think, oh, that's off beat. That's off.
Right.
It wasn't off. It just, he made it sound so good. And nowadays it's so off, but that it comes off well.
And that's what
it comes off.
They do it.
Right.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.